This isn't a Christmas gift. This is human trafficking.
Yes.
FBI, open up!
Thank you for tuning in to Pop Culture Caravan. This is Joe Meister, joined with our fearless leader, Hutch.
Well, hiya.
And valiant co-host, Chalupa.
Hey.
And here we are talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So let's dig in.
Kicking off the holiday season right.
I don't know, I was kind of geeking out the entire time because Mantis just kind of freaks me out.
Bro, I didn't realize she has just full on, just mind control.
When she's jumping around the walls chasing after Kevin Bacon, oh my god, kind of terrifying.
Little bit of a horror movie, dude.
Honestly, Mantis became one of my new favorite Marvel characters in this. She and Drax are characters that have never gotten their real due in the MCU. Like, you know, they've kind of been supporting characters, but they've never, like, taken a spotlight. So it's very nice to see those characters get, you know, the chance to shine and, you know, prove their chops.
And we always see them go up against, like, characters with, like, similar strength. Like, to regular humans, they're invincible.
Yeah.
So seeing these invincible characters deal with a sort of, like, more human, grounded, everyday problem, and especially because these characters have such alien backgrounds that they are very unfamiliar with our human concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun.
They've got big personalities, especially when they're interacting with each other. They built that up a lot in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they had Mantis and Drax have that heart-to-heart where he calls her, like, disgusting, but in, like, a good way.
Oh, yeah?
It's nice how they kind of fostered that friendship, and they kept growing on it with this holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
But as big as their personalities are, to people, they're so freaking weird. Like, they really are. Like, did anybody else feel like the whole Mantis being Quill's sister felt, like, really shoehorned? Like, it made sense, but it felt really shoehorned in. I guess Ego would keep one of his children if they had some purpose, you know? But, like, they just kind of dropped that in there.
I think my thing was, rather than being shoehorned, it just kind of felt a little retroactive. Like, this was something that should have been revealed way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of blaming the MCU higher-ups for that. I did a little research into this. Turns out James Gunn actually came up with the idea for the holiday special shortly after writing Volume 2. Or after it finished production, I think.
Oh, wait, so this idea's been around for a while, then?
It's been cooking for a while, yeah. It took him a while, you know, to get Marvel to greenlight it, especially with James Gunn being canceled from the MCU.
Damn.
I'm glad we're finally past that. And now he's going on DC, which is great. But yeah, so he's had this idea in his back pocket for a while, and I think it feels like a lot of Volume 2 is very fresh in that. There's a lot more focus on Yondu's impact on Peter as opposed to, like, Gamora, when Gamora's obviously a big missing piece here.
Yeah.
Like, she's just kind of like, they just kind of say in one line, oh, Peter's sad that Gamora's gone. Like, that should be a little bit of a bigger deal, I think.
That is some good information to know, though, because it did feel like a bit odd in the timeline.
How'd you guys like the animated sequence with the flashback on Yondu shitting and then not shitting on Christmas?
I really enjoyed those. It kind of takes you back to that old school, like, 70s and 80s Christmas cartoons. This was done with, like, the old rotoscoping techniques. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with film terms and film production.
Not at all.
But with rotoscoping, what they do is they will essentially film the scene with the characters in costumes, very little set dressing and background, if at all, probably not much. You're filming their scenes, getting their performance and mannerisms, and then you go over and you sort of animate and paint over it.
How'd you guys feel about, like, the overall, like, more campy, joyful holiday feel of it?
It put me in the Christmas mood. It got me there. The soundtrack especially is a lot of fun. You got some very James Gunn Christmas music in terms of it being just batshit unconventional, but it works. It's fun.
Christmas rock.
More of a punk feel than, like, his other Guardian stuff, which has been more like old school 70s and 80s stuff. And this felt more Suicide Squad or Peacemaker.
I'd say, yeah, more towards Peacemaker. Like I said, the whole thing felt fun to me. The whole concept of, like, what is Christmas? You've heard all these stories, only to barely get it right.
I like how in the lyrics to the first song, you can kind of see the thought process of how the aliens came to this understanding of Christmas. Because they're getting all this information from Kraglin and Rocket, and Rockin especially, he'd think it's cool that Santa's, he's like a burglar and a locksmith.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was really goofy. It was good music.
Speaking of Groot, I gotta be honest, design-wise, still to this day, only Big Groot and Baby Groot. Those are the only ones that kind of work for me. This bulky Groot.
I don't know. I like Buff Groot. Swole Groot is funny.
I just hate his head. His tiny ass head.
Yeah, that's like roided Groot. They're calling him Swole Groot, but I want to call him roided Groot because like the muscle mass proportions are like this dude's a fucking tank. Like if this was a human and you saw it approaching you, you would fucking move out of its way so fast.
Now I don't know if this was a creative decision behind the scenes. When I first saw Swole Groot, my immediate thought was, I think that's more practical. Like, it looked more like a guy in a suit, and then they just had to, touch him up with CGI.
Oh.
So maybe that could be a reason for switching to this new Groot variant.
The voice, is this still Vin Diesel?
It's still Vin Diesel, yeah.
It's always been Vin Diesel. It always will be Vin Diesel.
But then again, I mean, it's not like he has to come in and re-record any lines for this.
He probably does it from home at this point. Just goes to his desk, at the microphone, records a couple.
The Diesel never ends. I feel like he recorded all of these lines at once for the first movie, and they've just been reusing them. Because, he just says the same thing with different inflections on his tone. But I bet after he recorded all those lines, he probably got stuck only saying, I am Groot for, a fucking week.
It's very cool. It's every actor's dream. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am so soy Groot.
What do you think of Kevin Bacon in the MCU?
It's a big payoff for the Easter egg.
It really is funny seeing their disappointment between what he actually is and what he's been hyped up to be.
But that is
Something I really liked was the fact that they're like, oh, well, clearly Peter didn't understand this because he left Earth when he was just a kid. And then, Peter sees him and he's like, no, that's an actor. You guys need to put him back.
This was also the first big appearance of Cosmo in the MCU. Another fun, goofy addition to the Guardians family.
Did they do an Easter egg for that earlier in the Collectors? Because the implication is that they bought Nowhere from the Collector. I guess they also got Cosmo in that deal? I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting that, the Guardians have a home base now and almost a community of people they're taking care of.
I think the inhabitants of Nowhere, because it does kind of give off the vibe that they're working with the Guardians, they're kind of under their protection type deal. I think that it's related to that scene in Love and Thunder. Dare we speak of it, that one scene where they're like, there's all these different people that need help, and they jet off to go do that, and they kind of tell Thor to fuck off because he was too busy being turned into an actual living joke instead of a movie character.
There could be some connection there.
I started to spiral into the hate for Love and Thunder there.
Understandable.
You gotta pull yourself out before you go too deep.
We have to cover it at some point.
A fun little thing I also caught about this special, it features one cameo I didn't expect. Mark Hamill is in it for a second.
What?
Where?
When?
It is blink and you miss it. It is right after Kevin Bacon runs away and everyone has to go chase him. You see one shot of an old man just getting plastered drunk, just chugging a bottle, and that's Mark Hamill.
Tell me it's green milk.
It's some kind of green liquid. It's a green bottle at least.
He's still getting twisted on that green milk, dude.
He's on that green juice, baby. I would love to see Mark Hamill play the MCU's version of Santa. That would be such fun casting.
That would be a fun thing.
That really would.
Santa does have precedence in Marvel Comics. In fact, he is an Omega-level mutant, which is insane.
Yes, he's super powerful.
What are his abilities?
The Christmas spirit.
I thought it was a very, emotionally satisfying special. I'll admit, I've already rewatched it 3 times. I loved it that much. Look, I'm a sucker for family dynamics, so seeing a touching sibling moment like that, it got me in the feels. I got a little misty-eyed.
Aw, so sweet.
Now we also did have the Volume 3 trailer premiere this week, and the villain is going to be the High Evolutionary, who is a character who creates different genetic hybrids and experiments. He's basically the space version of Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
Apparently he's going to be Rocket's creator, but I think he could also be after Peter and Mantis potentially being the children of a celestial.
That would make sense. There is a little clip in that trailer where you see an otter that seems to be very human-like Rocket.
Just another genetic experiment like Rocket. Maybe he had some kind of like family of other misfit creatures during his time with the High Evolutionary, and he had to leave them behind or something.
Now, what's interesting, in the Guardians of the Galaxy video game, they did touch up on Rocket's time as an experiment. He did have a love interest at one point, a girl that he tried to escape with, but things just went wrong.
Was her name Lila?
I believe so. I'd have to go back and look.
Lila, I believe, is this otter character.
God damn, the furries are gonna be applauding like crazy. Get your shotguns.
The plot is going to be a more Rocket-focused story.
Mhm.
I'm a little worried about him potentially dying. If you're giving that much backstory this late in the game, that's a telltale sign that, you know, it's the curtains for them.
Whew.
Drax, I would also put on the table as someone who could bite it.
Mhm.
Maybe Nebula or Kraglin?
I feel like Kraglin's just now kind of stepping into the spotlight. I would see more Nebula.
True.
Because Nebula's had attention on her. Guardians 1, Guardians 2, Infinity War, Endgame. I mean, Jesus, like she's been an important player for a while.
She had her whole character arc in Infinity War and Endgame. Rocket as well had a little arc, so giving him another arc here is just further proof I think he's gonna bite it.
My prediction is that they're going to have Nebula bring Gamora back into the fold before they kill her off. And that's going to be kind of her final purpose in this movie.
Probably. And it doesn't really make sense to get rid of Peter being the leader who, you know, is trying to reconnect with his lost love of Gamora. Chris Pratt's too marketable. No way the MCU is getting rid of him anytime soon.
You really think they're going to kill Mario? Think again, Buck.
Personally, I liked it. It was a great holiday special. I would like to see a sequel. I'm very excited to see what else they do. I think MCU has really been stepping up.
Scale 1 to 10?
Ooh, I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10.
Mhm.
Honestly, this had everything I wanted. It felt like it was made for people like me who love the wackier, quirky side of the Marvel universe, and we're looking for something less action heavy and more just character focused. Honestly, this was my favorite thing the MCU put out this year. It was very refreshing, very new, and I'm now very excited for Volume 3.
I think I'd give it an 8. I really liked it. When you see 40-minute episodes, you know, you kind of expect there to be more, and that's kind of part of why I was like, damn, I have to wait for Guardians 3 now. But I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't know if I would say it's the best thing that they've come out this year with, but I liked it.
I think the key is going into it with low expectations. I was not expecting anything big stakes. I was just looking for fun, mindless entertainment, and this was very enjoyable. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our new and upcoming videos. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time.
What exactly is it that they do?
Kick names, take ass.
What's your name?
Derek.
What's your name?
Michael?
You're Derek now.